Welcome back to another episode of the I'm Not a Hater podcast featuring your favorite not hater, Mr. Brown. Okay, tapping in. I appreciate everybody who's been tapping in, looking at checking out these episodes. I almost said checking at these episodes, checking out my shorts, checking out my overall YouTube algorithm, Facebook, Instagram, etc. I definitely appreciate it all. But if you could do me a huge solid favor, man, tell a friend to tell a friend to please subscribe, like, comment on all things I'm Not a Hater slash Mr. Brown that's in the universe. Okay, the more you do it, the better it is for me, and it's helping me to reach my monetization goal, my subscriber goals, and any other goals I may have in this space. All right, definitely appreciate it in advance. Listen, this episode is about being out of pocket, and everybody these days, including people that you know, um, celebrities, even presidents, are out of pocket. All right, and we're gonna get into it. Okay, so listen, Donald Trump, public enemy number one, out of pocket. The man just shows up and wreaks havoc wherever he is, whether it's the UN, whether it's the economic budgets, whether it's um, freezing funding for people. Everything he's doing so far is out of pocket. And I want to say the people who voted for him are definitely out of pocket. You chose this man, you allow him to wreak havoc. Nobody's stepping up to stop him, or even if they try to stop him, they get overcome by negative comments and people going at their necks and threatening them in public. And all that's out of pocket. It's out of pocket behavior. Like, why are you going this hard for somebody who doesn't even know you? And he's got blind followers out there who will risk their lives to prove their loyalty to him when he wouldn't even spit on them if they were on fire. Like, out of pocket behavior. But Donald is out of pocket. He's been out of pocket. And he running this country, and I continue to say this, he's running the country like it's Celebrity Apprentice. And he got all these incompetent people running, these different sectors of government, which again is more out of pocket because, bro, how you got somebody like RFK running, health and all this, and don't even know that there's no real cause for autism, or it hasn't been discovered yet. But y'all thinking Tylenol is the cause? Definitely out of pocket and need to be checked immediately. Now, moving on, okay, we got the WNBA. Okay, listen, this is supposed to be the greatest time of the year for them. They got the finals going, they on TV. um they got superstars, all the stars are on television, and the moment they get to a height point, here comes the commissioner to burn it down. She is the definition of out of pocket. All right, listen, she is out here making them feel like it is Death Row Records and she is Suge Knight. You ought to be thankful for me. I am giving y'all platform. I gotta disagree. You should be thankful for these players because without them, you wouldn't even have a platform. Okay, the WNBA wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the players. Now, I know I've been critical of them. I've been hard on some of them, but to be completely honest, her comments were out of pocket. They were disrespectful to these players who give their blood, sweat, and tears every season on the court, for the fans and in her pockets as well. And she should be apologetic to them. Now, whether she will or not, that remains to be seen. She just canceled, Nafisia just canceled her meeting with her on Tuesday. But she needs to come out with a better statement than the one she came out with, because her behavior was what? Out of pocket. Um, it's kind of disrespectful for the way that she's acting um towards these ladies. Like I said, they come out here to play, they get injured, the whole nine. They giving up countless hours and practice and blood, sweat, and tears and all that good stuff. They doing all that, and you acting as though it doesn't even matter to you. You owe them more to just say that losers complain about the refs. I've seen winners complain about the refs, and Caitlyn should be thankful for the 16 million and the platform and all that good stuff. Nah, I think you should be thankful that Caitlyn decided to play in the WNBA, and Angel Reese and Paige Beckers for that matter. Be glad Juju might want to play in your league, because if they all decide to get up and go to Unrivaled, you're gonna be in some trouble. The WNBA gonna cease to exist if the stars stop playing. So watch your words and be more careful and stop this out of pocket behavior, WNBA commissioner. Now, moving along. All right, listen. Cardi B and Nicki Minaj is another example of the most out of pocket rap beef I've ever seen and heard of. First of all, it makes absolutely no sense to me. Nicki has been queen since she basically got rid of Little Kim and Remy Ma, right? Okay, those were her competitors at the time. She didn't really have any competitors, and probably to some people still doesn't. But Cardi B comes along, fresh off of her Love and Hip Hop fame. Then she, got with Offset from the Migos and rode that wave until she got off that train. But she put out an album, she put out good songs and singles in between that time, and Cardi became a household name, a household fixture for that matter. And I just feel like at this point, Nicki's behavior is out of pocket. Mainly because she doesn't want to have anybody in her stratosphere as far as when it comes to rap and being considered the queen. Okay, Nicki wants it all to herself, and nobody's supposed to even, drop music on her radar. But Cardi has remained relevant over the past 7 years. She has not let, any negative publicity stop her from being who she is. She has not really conformed to the industry to a certain point. And she continues to be herself. Now, if anybody else and most people nowadays, if you've been gone for 7 years musically, you don't really get to come back. The fact that she came back and she had the Jay-Z sampled Imaginary Players, and other songs that she came out with, and came out with an album eventually. Like, the fact that she was able to do that, Nicki felt some type of way. And when you feel some type of way and you don't talk to nobody about it and get it off your chest, you start to do out of pocket things like going back and forth on Twitter. And it was enjoyable, but then it started to get drastic when you start putting kids in it and doing all that. Like, kids never should be in adult arguments, no matter how you feel about the person. Like, leave the kids out. That's the definition of out of pocket behavior for Miss Nicki Minaj. So I can understand how she ended up with Donkey of the Day and everything else that's been coming to her, and people just not agreeing with her behavior because it's kind of tasteless at this point. So Nicki, find another way, channel your anger. Go make a song. Go, make an album. Do something that your fans will want to see instead of this petty arguing back and forth with somebody like Cardi who doesn't really, she's not really interested or doesn't really care. She went back and forth with you, but that was just out of, protecting her brand and, that kind of thing. But I don't think Cardi really cares about what Nicki talking about and got going on. So Nicki Minaj, move on, keep it pushing, stop being out of pocket. All right, Diddy, my boy, got 50 months in the can. Okay, he already did 13. So with that, he'll have probably, they saying maybe 2 to 3 years with good behavior. He'll be back home in 2028. But he was out of pocket for certain things. Okay, out of pocket for one, taking speaking engagements before you knew whether you was going to be released or not. Now, the person who booked him or tried to book him for you also out of pocket. Haven't you been paying attention to the news? This man wasn't coming home. He was going to get some time. That's out of pocket behavior. You already thinking that you bigger than the courts. And Diddy gotta chill. Like, dude, they could have threw you. They was trying to throw you under the jail. They gave you a RICO charge and the whole nine. You have got to stop your out of pocket behavior. That baby oil, all that good stuff, put it up, put it away. Lead a brand new life when you come home. Okay? Like I said the other day, go off the grid, try to get some of your businesses back, make your money, and just chill out. You don't come back out trying to throw white parties and, just doing the old Sean Combs or the old Diddy stuff. It's time out for that. You got one life to live, and you need to be a better example for Justin, Christian, Quincy, the twins, Chance, and Baby Love, because they need a father out here in this world, especially because most of your kids don't have their mom anymore, so you're the only parent left. So please, when you come out, do better and be better. No more out of pocket behavior, Diddy. It's over. All right, moving on to regular people. Now, regular people can be out of pocket as well, and I see examples of it all the time. The people who don't understand that you have more to life going on than just them, and they still want to hog up your time. That is out of pocket. And if you don't sit down and wait your turn until I'm finished doing what I got to do, then you're gonna find out when you get left behind. Okay? I'm just keeping it a buck. Like, people that do that are so, they're annoying because, bro, I'm trying to work. I'm trying to come home, take care of my family, do what I got to do for myself. I barely got enough time to do for myself because I'm doing for others. And you complain because I can't answer your request on time. Come on. There's a thing called waiting. There's a thing called patience. But I guess out of pocket people don't have either because they continue to pull at you, push at you, tug, and then say that you're not being fair or they don't know what you did or didn't do, and stop trying to gaslight me. Like, I'll get to you when I get to you. Don't be out of pocket, bro. Just chill out. When I finish doing what I'm doing, I'll get to you. But you got to wait. You cannot be first in line. You can't jump spots. If I got you in spot number 8, stay there until I get to number 8. And then I'll take care of you when I get there. But come on, this out of pocket behavior, blaming, victim blaming, and doing all that, it's gonna get you ignored in the end. You just keep it a buck with you. I'm just gonna ignore you and keep it pushing. It is what it is. Stop doing that, people. Wait your turn. Don't be out of pocket. Now, in the sports realm, I talk about my team all the time, the Dallas Cowboys. Most people have things that they say about the team that's out of pocket, and I just feel like, calm down with all that. Okay, at this point, we are America's team. We ain't gonna stop being America's team just because you don't like it. But listen, and all that being said, like today's game, I feel like we got a good chance to beat the Jets. I feel like they're a very undisciplined team from what I saw against the Dolphins, and I feel like we can sneak in and get a W. It's going to be a close game, but listen, we down some people, so if we take a L, I can't really blame us, but I'm tired of doing that too. Hopefully the defense has changed. Hopefully we play aggressive, and we get that W from the Jets. All right, and no more out of pocket behavior from you people. Listen, like I always do at the end of each episode or every episode, I always say something positive to leave y'all off with. So even with people being out of pocket, don't ever switch up who you are. And if they are too out of pocket, correct them, but correct them in love. You don't have to stoop to their level and do things that they're doing just to get a reaction. Correct them in love. If they don't change their behavior, then you see who they are, and you can react as such. Peace and love. This is the I'm Not a Hater podcast. This is Mr. Brown. Once again, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. We'll be here. I'll see y'all in the next episode.